Good morning. Brand new week. Hi, you guys. Good morning. I am Sunshine, and I'm the ABCube tutor. This is the ABCube method for solving Rubik's Cubes. Formula A is 4 moves. Formula B is 8 moves. With these 2 patterns memorized, you can solve every complexity Rubik's Cube. There's no additional algorithms to learn, and everything can be solved with just A and B. To demonstrate this, I work on the 2, the 3, the 4, and the 5 at the same time to show that they can all be done the exact same way. Let's start by scrambling. It's Monday. Dum de dum de dum de dum. There is no order of operations to the solving of the cube using the ABCube method. There is an order of operations if you apply the ABCube method to the Minx's family, the dodecahedron things, the star puzzles. Those do have an order of operations because Formula B using the center column that is not shaped like a column, shaped like a triangle, moves more than just 3 pieces around. But on a cube, Formula B moves just 3 pieces around. Formula A brings a piece to the top and twists the corners, and so that's all you need for the corners. Another difference is the cube can have a parity, the Minx's cannot. So let's get started. Regardless of the cube that you have, every cube has 8 corners, so we're going to start there because this is the way the goal of this method is to demonstrate that every cube can be solved the exact same way, so you don't have to learn a whole bunch of algorithms, a whole bunch more algorithms the larger the cube gets, and you definitely don't have to learn a parity algorithm. Those are horrible. Okay, so each cube has 6 sides and 6 colors. The goal, of course, is to get each side to be one specific color. And this is not a speed solve method. This is not a fewest moves method. This is, however, the simplest method that you can learn that works on large cubes as well. Works on the large cubes as well as the small cubes. So there's no... All right. So this can be color neutral, but I teach with the yellow, beginning with yellow and white. The yellow and white are opposite colors on most standardized cubes. I'm looking around for it and I'm not seeing it. I do have a void cube that is non-standardized colors. Does not have a white. It has a purple and yellow is opposite red. It's all strange. So not every cube is standardized color scheme. But I start with yellow, and I'm starting with the corners. So we're going to look only at the corners, and we're going to look only at the yellow. We're going to ignore everything else. So let's start with, doesn't matter which cube you start with, we're going to do the corners today. We're going to do them all the exact same way. So here's a yellow corner. I usually say your cube has 8 corners, pick a corner. The corner has 3 colors, pick a color, but we're going to use yellow. That cube that has that color, we're going to hold the cube so that cube is under your left thumb as you hold it in your 2 hands. Now we're looking at the front of the face as if it is a spreadsheet with rows and columns, and the formulas are created looking at just the front of the face. So the arrows represent the single slice that you're going to be turning at the time, and the line represents the rest of the cube holding still. Formula A is 1 row, 1 column. For every left, there's a right. For every up, there's a down. So it's mathematical 0. It's a commutator. B is the same thing. Top 1 row and 2 columns. For B, the row is always the top row, and the 2 columns vary depending on what you want to move. But we're going to work on the corners, so that means we're going to use the outside columns. So I found a corner that's correct. This corner that I've chosen that has the yellow and is on top and under my left thumb is correct, and we're going to make the rest of the cube match it because you're that powerful. The first corner that you select is Correct. Back in the 80s when the cube first came out, we learned to work around the absolute center because the absolute center is a singular piece inside and cannot be moved. That went out the window when the 4x4 came along. But habits die hard. So here's my corner. I'm going to work around this. I'm looking only at the corners. So I look at the corner that's under my right thumb. Now, if there is a yellow anywhere on this corner, Formula A is going to bring it to the top. Formula A being the bottom row in the right column. Just let me demonstrate the formula before I do it. Bottom row, right column. This piece was going to come up to here, so the first thing I'm doing is I'm moving this piece away from the action so it doesn't get lost. Okay, I'm moving the space where I want it to be down, move the cube into the space and the cube in the space back up again. So it's out, down, in, up. And this piece came here, this piece went down here. A whole bunch of other things happened with Formula A, but we don't really care about the other things because we're just focusing on corners right now. And again, we'll switch them back, but also twist them. Okay, so if twisting the corner is what you want, then when it's the way you want it to be, you slide the top to preserve it, and you continue without rotating the cube with your 6th set. Okay, that's 3. That's 4. You don't have to count, but the cube is keeping track because the cube is inherently honest, and when you have 6 Formula A's, the cube is back to the way it was, except for the top row because I moved it to preserve an action. Okay, so 6 Formula A's is the equivalent of 0. Okay, so that's Formula A. So let me do that. Okay, so there's a yellow here. If there is a yellow here, Formula A is going to twist it and bring it to the top face. If there's not, then you look underneath and make sure see if there's a yellow, see if your active color is there. And so as long as it's here or both, then Formula A will bring it to the top. So it's out, down, in, up, out, down, in, up, and it'll be less than 5 because 6 gets you back to however you began. And when the yellow's on top, we only care about the yellow color. We're not caring about the rest of the colors right now. So the yellow's on top, then we pause, and we're going to keep the cube stable because we do the second 4 corners the same as we do the first 4 corners. So we learned just one way to do the corners. So pause, rotate this top layer to preserve this piece over here under your left thumb again, and continue with your Formula A. Is there a yellow here? If yes, continue. If there's a yellow not, then you look here. If there's a yellow in either one of these 2 spaces, A will bring it to the top. If not, we hold the cube stable and rotate the bottom by quarter turns until the answer is yes, that there is a yellow there somewhere. And we're going to keep doing this until yellow's on top on all 4 corners. So out, down, in, up, out, down, in, up, and we can follow it as it's going along. Out, down, and up. When it's on top, we pause, we slide the top to protect it. There's a yellow here, so I don't have to look down here. Out, down, in, up, out, down, in, up. So that's our first step, is to bring yellow to the top on all 4 corners. I did it on this one. Now let's do it on this one. Okay, I already have 2 yellows here, so we'll preserve them. There's no yellow here or here, so I hold it stable, rotate the bottom. Now there's a yellow. Formula A will bring it to the top. This is, like I said, this is not a speed solve method. It's not a fewest moves method. There's a whole lot of intuiting and forcing things into place that you can do before you start working with the formulas. Because Formula A and Formula B are not going to mess up anything else you've already done. Okay. I want to say there's one exception, but it's not an exception to the Formula A and Formula B will not mess up what you have previously done. It is the exception that for larger cubes, it deals with parities, which we'll get to that when we get to the side edges, because that's where the parity shows up. So yellow's on top on all 4 corners. We're not looking at the rest of them yet. So here, there's no yellow here. Find a yellow first. Okay, let's find this one. Okay, here's a yellow. This is not yellow, this has a yellow. So Formula A brings it to the top. When it's on top, pause, slide it out of the way, keep going with this corner. pause, slide it to preserve it, and then proceed with this corner. Okay, pause. Yellow's on top on all four corners. Last one. There's a yellow here. Out, down, in, up. Out, down, in, up. Pause. Slide the top row only. You know what? I'm just going to shortcut that because it was just too easy. But Formula A brings the yellow to the top. Now, when the yellow's on top, one of three things has happened. Looking just at the corners have three colors, not just one. So one of three things has happened. We're going to look at the corners now to see if they match to each other on the side. And one of three things, either all of them will match, none of them will match, or one side will match. You can't have any other option based on the way the cube works. So here we've got orange equals orange, blue equals blue, red equals red, green equals green. So this one, all of them match. We're ready to proceed to the next step, but we're going to pause and wait the rest of the class to catch up. So this one, red does not equal green, but orange equals orange, so the other sides don't match. We have one side that matches, okay? I'm going to put, this is the side that, this is all of them correct, this is one side correct. Orange does not equal red, blue does not equal red, green equals green, so this has one side correct. And this one, orange does not equal blue, red does not equal orange, blue does not equal red, but green matches. Most of the time, you're going to get one side that matches. Occasionally, you will get all sides that match or no sides that match. Okay, with the no sides that match and the one side that matches, we're going to do the same action. The difference is that if one side matches, we're going to hold that matching face facing away from us as we do the next step. But if no sides matches, it doesn't matter which way you hold it. Doing this Formula B is going to move three corners around, and we're going to do Formula A to bring the color back to the top again. And the cube will have, these four corners of the cube will advance to the next stage. So if none of them match and I do this step, one side will match. If one side matches and I do this step, we'll end up with all of the sides matching. So matching faces away. Formula B is 8 moves, top row and 2 columns. Remember, we're working on the corner, so we're working with the 2 outside columns. Okay, every other move is horizontal. Every other horizontal is the reverse of the one before it, so it looks something like this. Okay, and then we've got 2 columns that we move up. We have first one up, second one up, first one down, second one down. So this corner is going to stay the same. These are going to move, so we're going to preserve this cube. We're going to move it away from the left side, and we're going to move the left side up. We're going to move it away from the right side, and we're going to move the right side up. And away from the left side down. Away from the right side down. Okay, this one stayed the same. The rest of the cube stayed the same, but these 3 corners moved. Okay, and so we already know how to bring the yellow to the top again, where we go right into Formula A. We're keeping the cube stable. We're not rotating the cube at all. And when the yellow's on top, pause, slide to preserve, and proceed to the next cube. Pause, preserve, proceed. Okay, when the yellow's on top on all 4 corners, as promised, the corners now match each other. Okay, so that's the first 4 corners are happy with each other. They're done and complete. This one, let's see, the matching side, we face it away from us. I do Formula B, slide up, slide up, slide down, slide down. Please ignore my Band-Aid. And then Formula A right into, to bring the color back to the top again. Pause, preserve, proceed. Pause, preserve, proceed. Okay, yellow's on top again, and as promised, all sides match each other. Do it one more time. Matching corners face away. Slide first up, reverse slide second up, slide first down, slide second down. Okay, and then A to bring the color, our color back to the top. Out, down, in, up. Pause, preserve, proceed. Pause, preserve, proceed. Feel free to interrupt me with chat. I love to be distracted because neuro spicy. And now, as promised, your first 4 corners are happy with each other. We did it this exact same way. We just ignored everything that was not corners, and so we didn't care about anything else. To demonstrate Formula B on this one, just so you can see what was happening, slide first up, slide second up, slide first down, slide second down, and the rest of the cube was untouched. We had these twisted from Formula A, remember? And so what happened was these 3 cubes moved and nothing else. Formula B moves 3 pieces and nothing else. They all moved. Once is in a clockwise direction. If you do it again, you'll have it in a counterclockwise direction. So you only need one pattern to memorize, regardless of which way it wants to go. And of course, the third time we'll get it back to its original state. So that's Formula B. So the first 4 corners are done. Now we're going to proceed to the next 4 corners. On the 2x2, that will complete the cube. On the rest of the cubes, what that will accomplish is the corners are now going to dictate what color each face is going to be. So from that point forward, every piece already knows where its correct space is. So we're going to take the yellow, we're going to put it face down. We're going to abandon the yellow because we trust that Formula A and Formula B is not going to affect it. But I mean, they're going to we're going to see the yellows dancing around as we do the formulas. But when we get to the end of the formula, the yellows will have remained where they are. So we're going to ignore them so we don't get distracted and think, oh no, my yellows are messed up, and start over again. I mean, you can if you want to use this practice. So here's a white. We're going to keep it. So we're going to look at this corner now. Not all cubes are the same color. So on all of these cubes, yellow is opposite white. So opposite yellow, we're going to work with white. But if you don't know that already because you're a beginner, just look and see which color all of these 4 cubes have in common. There's only one color, okay? And if it's hard to tell, a clue is that it's not a color that's already touching yellow. So it's a color that all the corners have in common, and it's not blue or orange or green or red. So it's white. So we have 2 that are already on top. We're going to preserve them, but we're going to, so that's under my left thumb. I'm working at with the corner under my right thumb. And okay, because this one's already on top, I'm not going to start there. So I'm starting here. So Formula A, out, down, in, up, out, down, in, up. When the white comes to the top, I'm ignoring. Now my yellow has moved, but I haven't finished my Formula A. So we don't care about the yellows yet. So pause, slide this to preserve it. This one already needs to is already correct, so we're going there. We're going to continue with this one. Out, down, in, up. Out, down, in, up. Out, down, in, up. Out, down, in, up. And when the white's back on top again, now we can check our yellows. They're happy. We saw them dance around, but we're ignoring them because we trust them. We trust the formulas. So A's on top, white's on top. Yellow goes face down. There's 2 whites here as well. Find a corner that needs to be twisted. Out, down, in, up, out, down, in, up, out, down, in, up, out, down, in, up. Pause. Now we're not rotating the cube. We're keeping the cube stable. Slide this one away, slide this one away. Continue with this one. Out, down, in, up, out, down, in, up. And when the white's on top, our yellows are unaffected. If that's not the case, you have a corner twisted. Don't twist your corners. Okay, yellow's still happy, and white's on top. Okay, yellow's face down. This one, we're going to preserve this one and start here. Out, down, in, up. Out, down, in, up. Out. Keep going until the white is on the top face. We're ignoring our yellows because they're going to be taken care of if we don't let them distract us right now. Continue with this corner. Out, down, and up. Out, down, and up. Out, down, and up. Out, down, and up. Pause. Slide to preserve. Proceed. Out, down, in, up. And as long as we've kept the cube stable during all of this, then our yellows will be unaffected when we finish this 6th Formula A. Okay, white's on top. Check. Yellows are still happy. Okay. Yellow, once again, it doesn't matter which cube you have, it works the same on every complexity cube. So the more columns should not be intimidating. So there's no white on top, so it doesn't matter where we start. Okay, but we're going to hold the cube stable until the white's on top on all four. So out, down, in, up, out, down, in, up, pause, slide to preserve it, proceed with the next corner. Out, down, in, up, out, down, in, up, pause, preserve, proceed. And you don't have to count the formula A's that you're doing, but it will be a multiple of 6 when you're done. Pause, slide, preserve, proceed. Okay, when white's on top on all four corners, yellow is still happy. So same thing with the yellows as is with the whites. When we check on the rest of the other parts of the corner, we've only looked at one color. When we start looking at the rest of the colors of the corners, either all of them will match to each other on the side, none of them will, or one side will. Blue does not equal green, orange does not equal red, blue does not equal green. This one has none of the sides matching. Okay, so start a column. This one, orange is not green, orange is not red, red is not green, but blue is blue. So this one has one. So none, one. These don't match, these don't match, these don't match, but this one does. Most of the time it's going to be one. Okay, these don't match, but these do. Okay, so for all of these, there's one. This one has no sides. Okay, so same step, regardless of whether, unless they're all solved. And it's going to, so doing it to this one will result in one side matching, and doing it to the one side matching results in all side matching. So I'll start with the no sides matching. Okay, so it doesn't matter which way I hold it, I start. Slide first up, slide second up, slide first down, slide second down. Okay, this one stayed the same, these three moved. Formula A to bring them back to the top, pause, preserve, proceed, pause, preserve, proceed. When the white's on top, then the next thing to check the sides, we're going to make sure the white's on. Okay, so now, like I said, one side's going to match. Okay, hold the matching facing away and do the same thing again. Slide up, slide up, slide down, and formula A to bring it back to the top, pause, preserve, proceed. Pause, preserve, proceed. Be multiple of 6. And with the white on top, we can check again, the yellows are still happy. Now we just look to see if the top and bottom match. So red does not equal orange, blue does not equal orange, orange equals orange, so poof, this one's done. Alrighty. Okay. All of the rest of the ones are the same way. Matching side faces away. Slide left up, slide right up, slide left down, slide right down. Okay? And formula A to bring it back to the top. 1, 2, pause, preserve, proceed. 3, 4, pause, preserve, proceed. When the white's back on top again, yellows are still happy. All of the sides match now, and the top matches the bottom, so these 8 corners are correct to each other. They're done. Do this one. Matching side faces away. Slide up, slide up, slide down, and we just moved 3 cubes around. So out, down, in, up, out, down, in, up, pause, slide, out, down, in, up, out, down, in, up, pause, slide, out, down, in, up, out, down, in, up. When the whites are on top, sides now match. Yellow is still happy. Bring the corners to match rotate the top until the corners match, and the corners are done. Yay! Once more. Once more. Once more. Corners facing away. Yellows are happy. Slide up, slide up, slide down, and A to bring the corners back to the top. Pause, slide, proceed, slide. Whites are still now happy, yellows are still happy, and top and bottom match. So we have done the corners on all of these. It didn't matter how big the cube was. It wasn't, we didn't let it intimidate us, and the corners are done. And at this point in time, when I'm teaching in real life, I say, great, now scramble it and do it again. Then make people get really comfortable. You have to get really comfortable with Formula A before I proceed to Formula B. Once you're comfortable with Formula A and B, then the rest of everything else is just more of the same. There's nothing new to learn from this point forward to solving every complexity Rubik's Cube. You've already got it down. Quick demonstration. If I'm going to twist my corners back again, I did it with Formula A. So I'm going to use Formula A to get it back again before I demonstrate. Okay, pause, slide, continue, proceed. And when they're correct, set the top, and we're done. So that's Formula A. Formula B, I do with the top row and the outside columns, move these 3 corners around. But it can also work on the edges and the centers. I will demonstrate. Pick a piece that you want to move. In this case, it's an edge piece. Okay. Figure out which direction it wants to go. In this case, I want it to go to this side. Okay. Formula B is going to move 3 pieces. It's going to move this piece. It's going to move the piece that it's going to move into, and it's going to move another piece in between. Okay. So slide up. Okay, so the 2 columns are, the first column is where you want it to land, the second column is where it begins. So away up, in, up, away down, in, down, and we moved a piece from here to here. We're always moving 3 pieces, so the third piece came forward, and this one went there. So these are the 3 pieces that we moved, okay? And if we do it again, once has the effect of going in one direction, twice has the effect of it going in the opposite direction. And so you don't have to memorize this one if I want clockwise, this one if I want counterclockwise. You just do it once. If it's not solved, do it again. So, and then the third time we'll put it back. So I'm going to demonstrate how you lined it up in the solve. This is the piece that we're going to move. Okay. We've got the corners matching the front. And we've established which corner it wants to go in this direction. So first column, second column. Up, up, down, down. So B moves 3 pieces. Top row outside columns moves corners. Top row outside inside columns moves edges. And 2 inner columns is going to move centers. So, for example, if I pick this piece, I pick a piece that I'm going to move. Okay. And I want this piece to go to the top. So first I line it up so it's going to land here. Okay. Now instead of knowing ahead of time which the 2 columns are, I'm going to follow this piece, this cubie, and this is it'll determine what the 2 columns are. So the first column, I'm going to move it first horizontally to set it up so that's advantageous. Then I go up. I'm going to slide the top row so it lands in a different column. I can't go this way because that's the same column. So I have to go this way. For the diagonals, you have to pay a little more attention. For the obliques, it doesn't matter as long as you're. And then, so second up, and then reverse, down, second down. Set the corners, and we moved 3 pieces around. It looks like we moved 2 pieces around. That's a lie, because 2 of the colors were the exact same. 2 of the pieces were the exact same color, so we didn't know which one. But for example, if I'm going to put this piece up into here, this piece will not come here. It's going to move into a different piece. Okay, so you can see that it's 3 pieces. So up, slide, up, reverse, down, and it always moves through pieces. So we've done the corners. The next thing I would do, woohoo, that one's done. The next thing I would do is I would work on the opposite corners. I've been training my eyes to look for yellow and white, so I'm going to keep looking for yellow and white. I'm going to hold the cube so that yellow and white are left and right as dictated by the corners. And then I'm going to look for any yellow or whites in the middle, and I'm going to move them in the direction they belong using formula B as demonstrated. And then once the opposite edges are done, then I will put the white face down. I'll displace the yellow into the side edges until the side edges are done. And this is where you'll get a parity if there's a parity to get got. And so I did the corners. I'll come back tomorrow and I'll do the edges, and then after that we do the centers. And this is a good time to set the absolute center. If I don't do it right now, I can do it later on with the formula A though. This one doesn't have an absolute center. This one does. I can just muscle it into place. But if the edges were already solved and I didn't want to mess anything up, I could place it to the top using formula A. So this piece wants to go to the top. So I move this row and this column. I move this piece away from the action. I move the space down, the piece into the space, and the piece in the space back up again. So you can use formula A for the entirety of the first face, whatever you want that to be. But formula A doesn't work on the subsequent faces because formula A does affect all 6 sides at the same time. So but B does not displace anything, so I usually teach B. That's it. That's the brief overview. I'll come back tomorrow and work on I did the corners. I'll come back tomorrow and work on the edges. So hope you enjoyed it. Go have yourself a great day. Go walk in the sun, go drink some water, go be nice to yourself, go be happy, you deserve it. And bottom line is a toy. If you're not having fun, go take a nap and have a snack and come back and play with it later, because ultimately it's supposed to be fun. Life is supposed to be fun. So I will see you guys tomorrow. Go have a great day, and bye.